In Fish, I have such a thing that if I press Alt-A, I can use FCF to like select a file, and that's low-key the default behavior if you call FCF with nothing, and let's actually do that. Call FCF with nothing, make chat like this, then it just lets you select a file specifically from the current directory. That's cool, but what if I also want folders? I'm sorry, directories. How could I? And also, it's not that often that, well, it's not that it's not that often. More so, often you will want to FZF files / directories from a certain path, right? So something like you touch and then pictures, and now you want to like search for a folder inside of pictures. Well, if you Alt-A, it's still the current directory. So what I want to do is grab this token to essentially search from it by using FZF. And then I did not know that, hold up, do I understand this correctly? And I click. That's so wild. What? Why? Okay, so that's going to be the functionality. And let's get to doing it. First of all, let's go to built-in. This is a file where I have redefined some functions that are built into Fish. And for this one, I made a pull request actually and got accepted, which I'm like amazed about. So the list current token is a similarly useful feature that already works like I want to. So I can do to touch, then pictures. Now I can press Alt-L to execute this function, which just LS's everything, which is incredibly convenient, I think. Yeah, basically it instead of LSing the current directory, which is scripts, it LS's pictures by taking the current token. So we're going to be using the same idea. However, I recognize that I'm not way too much of a fan of the clear anymore. It's not required, and this is the issue. The fact that scroll back is no longer being like done by Kitty, which is like, you know? So let me build in. Cool. I just installed Better Discord. And as I often do, I search for a YouTube video that is a tutorial on that. The dude had horrible audio, but the tutorial like itself is good. I didn't even finish it, to be fair, because turns out it's so easy. You paru Better Discord, then pick the first one, or the fourth one probably will work as well. You run it, literally do 2 steps after you run it. Boom, it works. It's that simple, and I laid off making myself Better Discord for so long. Turns out, unnecessarily. So like, I expected it to be like more annoying. So where were we? Right, first of all, now if I do touch and then pictures, it will not be oh, interesting. It prints immediately, which is probably not what I want. So why does it do that? It LS's. Let's try removing this. Yeah. That could be the perpetrator of that really weird behavior. How interesting. Well, we can do echo. And I think that's all we need, really. Boom. That's strange that it just immediately starts printing. That's pretty wild. Right, okay. So what is this exactly? String repeat, but new lines. Okay, let's bring this back and see why it's even there. Nothing really changed that I could notice, but okay, I'll keep it, whatever. Oh, what? I see. Well, I think I like it anyway. Okay. So let's go to dot files and gamp fish alt L doesn't clear. Hi, can't you wait till I'm out of class to stream? Bro, I have no clue when you're in class or outside of it. However, would you look at this? Like, how amazing chat looks now? Like, with the yellow and the very sleek, minimal design. Remember how kinda, not gonna lie, awful it looked before? Also, you can do something that I used to do in class. Basically, you just sneakily use an earphone and like watch YouTube videos. Because I could not care less about whatever fucking physics. I have no idea either. They tell us the schedule the same day. Oh my god. Even with a preset schedule, I used to always just miss class. Getting the schedule on the same day, fuck that. I simply would not appear there, ever. So travel is what we're gonna need. In travel, I define functions that are for essentially traveling, directories, finding files, and so on and so forth. So basically doing things throughout multiple paths. So, how will this work? Let's write the code first and think later. It's easier that way. Actually, I have a thing for this. Boom. I know, right? Chat is so cute. How do we call this function? So it will let us pick a directory or a file from the current token. So if you've typed in a path, it will show like FZF, letting you pick a file or a folder from that path that you've typed in. Tippity tappity. I love my function names in Fish specifically. They're always ridiculous. Oh, and I also think that you're supposed to be using, instead of I was hoping, okay, instead of dashes you're supposed to use underscores. I usually like dashes more when it comes to like program names and so forth. It's one less key to press, shift meaning. So first thing we do, we FD, we search for type file and type directory. we don't care which one it is, in command line -t. So FD is just like a better find basically, and since we don't ask for any specific, any specific files / directories, we just print every single one, every single file or directory, except if they are dot files or get ignored. And then we search for that in this path. YFZF, because I have it installed. I kind of could not be bothered to install Skim, and it probably has other configuration options, and I have to spend time configuring it, when in reality, like, does it matter? No, it doesn't. Most likely doesn't. Same thing about tree. I'm super satisfied with tree. I don't particularly care that there's like supposedly a better version out there. So we do FD, and all of this we pipe into FZF. Now let's go to aliases, and I think I have it aliased, and I do not, interestingly. Okay, what about abbreviations? Yeah, I don't whatsoever. That's interesting. So FZF-E. What the fuck is -E though? FZF help. Rust owns the terminal experience. I mean, yeah, but there are some things that like they don't matter that much. Enable exact match. That's probably what I want when I'm looking for files. Since there are going to be that many, it's better to be more precise than not. So cycle tag. Let's copy until the end of the line, except the final character. Boom, and we plop it in. Command line -I. So this in theory already will work. After we pick something from FZF, we insert it into the command line. Probably has a new line after it, but we'll figure it out, like if that's the case or not. So let's open config.fish that actually has the hotkey of Alt-A. Ooh, and command line repaint. Command line -F repaint. I mean, we can actually put it on a separate line. We might as well. So, tippity tappity. Let's run travel and GF. Okay, so let's touch in here, pictures, and now I want to pick is not a directory. Alacrity, Western Fish, Starship, yep. Exa as a LSD, FD, SK, Dust, Erd, RG's Oxide, Bat. True. I've actually tried Bat. I didn't like it. It's entirely too much. But a lot of these things I've either used or currently use. It's so cool how many great tools are written in Rust. Yep. So, this is quite interesting. We can't just give it the tilde to mean home. That's easily fixable. Let's go to built-in because I actually just have it there. We yank until the end of the line except the final character and gr this space. Boom, and that's pretty much it. Let's travel and source and touch pictures. Boom, boom. That simple, huh? Boom, boom. But it does not actually put that in. That's pretty annoying. Utils. What is that? I haven't heard of it. Ooh, maybe I need to do this. Oh, they rewrote all of them already? That's insane. License under MIT instead of GPL3. I think MIT is like more lax, but I'm not very good with licenses. I just put everything with MIT and don't care. Holy fucking shit, wow. That's insane. Huh. The next generation of GNU tools are probably going to be all written in Rust, and that's like, wow. For other operating systems, it's not close to have. Well, I wouldn't want to write for Windows, so understandable. And set a local variable because it doesn't seem to recognize stdin. And it's going to be picked. Yes until the end of the line. And this probably won't work, but I guess we'll see. Picked. Because the utils are made to be cross-platform. Holy shit. Well, that actually will fucking rotate the world. Wow. Imagine just having grep on your Windows machine. That would be revolutionary. A big part of why people switch to Linux, well, at least I think so, is because of the tools in your terminal. So that's quite like, wow. Okay. The terminal Windows feels like a cage. On Windows. It is. It absolutely is. Both PowerShell and CMD. I heard that it's possible to customize them, but it's like, huh, really? And it's super horrible to use. Terminal on Linux feels like having absolute control at your fingertips. Absolutely, and it can look pretty as well. And it can actually be comfortable to use, which is the craziest part. Where often a lot of actions I do from the terminal because it's just more comfortable that way. You'd never think that would be possible, right? But it is. So, it having absolute paths makes sense. But I want to replace string replace -r when it starts with this home user, replace it with this. on Linux, if something can be done, a shell can do it too. That's like my favorite thing, by the way. The fact that if, for example, a program doesn't work correctly, what I can do is just like run it from the terminal and see the log as it's working, which is so cool. On Windows, you're lucky if someone even presented the idea to make it available to the shell. Yeah. And the coolest thing about it is that when you launch programs, some of them have flags, so you can just change the desktop thingies that launch your applications to launch them a bit differently, for example. Like, for example, you can run kitty and immediately give it a name with the -T flag. And you can set it so when it starts up, it immediately has a name, which I did. Like, that's so cool to have this fine-grained yet easy control. I find that to be amazing. I should probably remember to escape these and not be a dumbass. Wait, hold up. I'm also kinda dumb because that is super unnecessary. Instead of R, let's just make this home. Like this. How does it... So it ends with a slash. Scripting corn is PowerShell. Oh, in PowerShell would have landed me to the therapist. Yeah, try CMD. I know a person who created a whole ass GUI application which looks amazing, and it's like for downloading and watching anime in fucking HKV1. The dude is crazy. Yeah. In fucking CMD. More like CBD. Wait. CBT. Because, like, fuck. Instead of inserting, what I want is to replace the token. And there's absolutely a way of doing that. I just don't know it yet. Let's go to command line from fish docs. It might be as easy as where were we in travel? Instead of I, we just do T, and basically we take the token and replace it with this. I imagine that's how it will work. I could super be wrong though, but we'll see. Boom. So let's do prog scripts. Yeah, so I was correct. However, interestingly enough, we don't need this. Ah, hold up. Relation relative then. No. Positional. Ah, I add the slash, not the home variable. Okay. Also, I just noticed better Discord is kinda annoying me. Because I also put it in my dot files. But okay, fine. So let's travel and source. And let's touch in pictures, but actually not pictures. Let's go to raw. I guess not raw. It would be in videos. What kind of dev do you want to be? I want to eventually be super deep in some super nerdy shit, like embedded or systems programming, like working on an OS and having to figure out very specific bugs and issues. That sort of thing is probably my favorite thing. I completely forgot what I even have in my thing. I guess I can just... Yeah, that's what I can do. Interesting. I can just type in a part of it to then be more specific. So other... Like, isn't this nice? I still don't know what I want to do. Probably not a front-end dev. Yeah, same. Fuck that. It's almost like I do a lot of front-end, considering how much stuff, like visual, I configure, but I would hate to be that. Cool, so now when I type in a path, maybe from here, and I want to do this, this actually may not be supported, but so far it seems like it is. So in like, I don't know, VS Code, but NeoVim VS Code, oh, holy shit, it just works, wow. Yeah, wow, damn. What happens if I don't even give it any, it gives an error? Okay. So command line or echo this. I'm not sure that's how it's going to work syntactically, but let's figure that out. So let's touch none was supplied. I see, because it's not false. It gave us the token. The token is just empty. System sounds good, but would you work on some small embedded systems or try to maintain a kernel? Honestly, depends on what feels satisfying. It could be like maintaining a whole ass kernel, or it could be something small but that I consider to be important. Scale isn't necessarily what matters, but I should be paid appropriately, so likely something bigger than smaller, but who knows? Closed source kernels pay best. Well, thankfully, I don't particularly care about the ideological standpoints of like open versus closed source. Like, I don't care. I'll do evil for money. Like, whatever. But some people are very, like, basically they can do that, which is fair. But I don't particularly care personally. So I have a really stupid solution for this, and I hate it, but basically yeah. Rejects replace. If there is a start and an end, immediately make it a dot. Isn't this dumb? I just don't want to touch the Windows ecosystem. It sucks. I could if I'm paid a lot for it, but obviously I would rather work with Linux related things. How much of a choice I'll have is a good question. Okay, so now it works. Let's make sure that it works with other stuff as well. It does. And if I select like 1F6, 612, for example, wow, it just works. That's so amazing. Like, isn't this super cool? Wow. HB Game Dev. I'm not actually interested in games whatsoever. I play games very rarely and I'm not too interested in them. Yes, even though I learned C#. Oh, these fucking abbreviations. Gaman looking ass. English is so fucking annoying with that, with how much abbreviations we use. Poor people that are just learning English, looking at text and they're like, what in the living hell? I play with them a lot, but the game dev route is hard. Yeah. And it's also not something that interests me particularly. Because for many people, it's like, it's enticing because, oh my god, I can make a game and then people play it and so on. That's great, but I just super don't care. And I heard that the game dev specifically, dev community is often overworked and underpaid. I'm not particularly interested in that. So, yeah. Something like, I don't know, working on the fish shell, or, I don't know, working on NeoVim, but like paid, something of that nature would fit what I want to do the most. Basically, be nerdy about some specific thing and improve it. You need the low-level knowledge to optimize performance, the front-end design capability for UI and display, and balance too, plus often over... Yeah, exactly. And and considering that I don't care about games, I don't think it would work for me. Like long term. Like sure, I'll do game dev here and there, but to get out of it, give me $1 billion, I'll work on NeoVim. First of all, what would be there is that the default search is just literal search, and then there is a different search which is just reject search. No weird bullshit. That's the first thing. Second thing, numbered registers are actually just normal. What else do I hate? Oh, I don't actually have a lot of complaints on me. Huh. Yeah, that's kinda it. That's all it takes to make NeoVim like better. Yeah, okay, so I made the tool. Now I can select. Fuck, it's so amazing that it doesn't like reach my brain correctly. Like, really? First of all, that's it, and second of all, holy shit. So I can go to something like Gav. Oh my god, fucking finally I'll be able to do this. So so we can do this. Fuck, it doesn't work. but I think I know how to make it work. And a few core maintained new Vim distros. How about we just make it good to begin with, where distros aren't that necessary? How about that? So basically, FD doesn't interpret PWD because it sees it as a string. No, then it becomes Helix. Yeah, but Helix is just underdeveloped, I guess. Reason why Vim specifically is so popular is because, hold up, I even have a picture for this. This. The greatest thing about Vim is that you can use Vim without using Vim. And Helix so far doesn't have it. It may be just straight up better, but it's not in VS Code. So, you know. There must be a possibility to implement some important functionality in different ways, not everything built in. Absolutely. It should have a clean built-in plugin system, but be pretty minimal to begin with. So it shouldn't have something like / C is next C style comment, or whatever it actually is. So don't make features that are not going to be necessary for everyone. You start minimal and you have a nice plugin system to add more features into it. It's one of my main critiques with NeoVim, which is even worse on Helix. Your critique is that not everything is built in? Or is that too much is built in? So I don't think that this will work, but who knows, right? It most likely won't. But okay, let's try it. Okay. What are we doing here? I forgot. Lol. That too much is built in. Yeah, absolutely. It would be as minimal as Cocoon, with a set of defaults equal to NeoVim in the form of a new NeoVim distro. Still don't like the concept of editor distros. The user should decide what they want and how they want it and make it the way that they want it. Because it feels like as if you're installing Vim and making VS Code out of it immediately, and I hate that. You should pick and choose what you actually want, because many things you actually don't. Right, so we do this and this. Well, all right. How do I circumvent this? Basically, I want to have a nice way to search from the current directory, and you're like, what are you doing, Elisa? Just do this. But then the path is relative, and I often want to copy something, like copy a path, but make it an absolute path. Don't want 800 options? Sure, just comment out the extended options plugin maintained by NeoVim itself. Yeah. Ugh, I don't know. It's too much. I mean, I say that while using VS Code. So, lol, but still. It's more... I think it's better for a user to decide what they want rather than decide what they don't want. It's the Windows versus Linux ideologies at clash. Same idea. When you use the command line, just delete it and replace it with a ACAT theme. What is that? What I probably want is a way to basically paste. Yeah, let's go to positional. And can I do something like this? Probably not, but let's try it. Wait, and it just works? Probably doesn't if I go to here. Yeah, it doesn't. I probably tried it prior. And I doubt that this would work. Nope, doesn't. NeoVim would be the Linux kernel, and you could do it from absolute scratch, but there are distros that give you defaults that you want or need, maybe as minimal as Arch, as ready as Ubuntu. Ah, okay. That's reasonable then. What does Alt-P currently do? Toggles less, so it's not my thing, by the way, so it's late, I have to eat, otherwise I'll forget. Super relatable, by the way. But I got better at it, at it, I think. You should definitely eat. I think I have a solution. Instead of having boom P, yeah, instead of having this, I'll make a hotkey, Alt-P, that just pastes the current working directory. Is CWD a thing? No, huh. Okay, so first of all, what did we do? Implement tippity tappity. Let's make a better commit than that. We stage this and we stage this. My connection is somehow less stable than my emotional state is. Damn. Same. For some reason, actually, once I switched to Linux, my internet is now worse. Like, it's usually fine, but sometimes it just decides to be zero. Well, that's hilarious. Sometimes it decides to be 0. And sometimes for a long time, and I'm like, well, what do I do with this? I mean, something I can do is just replace the literal text of pwd to the actual one, but that's wonky, first of all, and second of all, I don't want to be using the pwd variable anyway. And I've seen situations where I want to paste in the current working directory very often, so have a nice meal. Right, so these two are now staged, and this will come back to. So fish add fzf files dirs from current token. So this we remove, but before I continue, let me write this in so I remember that I made this functionality. So Alt A fzfs from token. I wish you could make abbreviations execute commands. Okay, so let's go to here and make a new one. Here. They're going to be P. And basically command line dash I pwd. Boom, as easy as that. And now it actually will work correctly. And it's been often that I want this, so fuck yeah. However, I expect every place to support the tilde key as the home, and if it doesn't, I have a thing specifically for this. So let's, before pwd, we string replace dash r starts from here. Wait, how do I do this? Home to this. And no slash after is needed. Let's jf again. I can boom, and it's just the current directory. That's very, very useful for situations like using Alt A. So Alt P pastes current working directory, and let's make a commit with the same exact message pretty much. Boom, boom, fish, Alt P pastes current working directory. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. So how will this operate? Why is this going to be useful? Because say I do gaff and then I'm like, okay, I made some changes and now I want to test them. And how I often do this is that I build, and yeah, okay, so it builds. Now I have a debug build that I want to keep around with me and execute in some other place, specifically for gaff, because it depends on the current working directory. So what I do is let's search here, and I do it like this because I need an absolute path. So, boom. How interesting. So you don't need these around. Okay, let's GF and try again. What? Huh. Super confused. Why is that the case? Let's do travel and GF. Okay, let's try it again. Cool, now it works. Oh, but it doesn't because it won't look into like dot files and such. Right, that makes sense. What if we make it with unrestricted? It's going to be slower. Well, huh. That was immediate. That was instant. Let's try doing that for this. How long does it take? Not that long. It took like a second. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so let's search here, and what I want gaff from debug. Yes, this one. Boom. And I got it. I thought that unrestricted searching would be way too much, but turns out no. Turns out it's completely fine. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I'm like gawking at it currently. Yeah, so let's go to something like, what else matters? Octusi. This one. And I want to get a thing from here. I need the debug Octusi. Oh, I don't have it. Right? I don't have it. Okay. Let's build. And get this, yes, but not release. Debug Octusi. Here it is. Boom. Great, that's amazing. Now I go to some other place and I have it. Then I could do something like, let's move from pictures. What do I want to move? Let's say I want to move. It's also so fast, surprisingly. Like this to some other place, but now I just search for a folder and then I rename it. Wow, okay, fuck yeah. So my problem with FZF was that it's not necessarily useful to look from the current directory, not always. and often not. But having FZF to look for stuff from the current token that I'm typing in, that's great, especially when I'm not entirely sure where it is or what I want. And I still have the option to look like this, and then what here, if I want to specifically go one by one, I have that option. I love that. Let's go to dot files. Fish alt p pastes current working directory. Alt a fixed. Nice. So did I add that? Yeah, so Alt A FZFs from current token and Alt P pastes in the current working directory. That's actually going to be huge. The way I used to do it, let's go back to Gav, is that I would open Ranger, which I very rarely use nowadays, actually. Yeah, very rarely, because I have better ways of getting the paths to do it myself. But I probably should use Ranger a bit more often, and go here and then YP to copy the path of this, and here I have it. But still there, I have to go one by one, which is usually what I want. But it's still like one of the solutions, which I would also often just type in myself, thanks to Alt L. Yeah. So let's try to more or less time it, how much it takes. So I go to target. I'm going to go my actual speed, like not try to be as fast as possible, but just be realistic. So this took some time. Okay. Debug. This feels like it was faster. I feel like it is. So let me immediately throw some dirt on it. The thing with this is that I see a lot of text and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And it takes some moments for me to realize what I actually want to type it in. So it's not like a solution for everything because of this overwhelming nature, but that's exactly why I have this as a different thing that I can use to be more specific. So I have two different tools depending on what I currently want and depending on the action I'm taking. So I love that. I think that's great. Cool. So let's go to abbreviations. I want to change up some of them. Let's go to get. Oh, it starts with this. So there are a bunch of stuff here that binds a couple of commands together. I think that it's actually going to look a bit better if I just put them on a separate line. because right now I do something like gumup, and like this is fine, but let's try to change a capital word. This is a bit cleaner, a bit more easily understandable what I'm doing bit by bit. So let's select this and CGN with a new line and basically do this everywhere. Sure, the dot files are going to be quite a bit more annoying. But aside from that, it's like whatever. In positional, that's not a thing. And oh, but it is here. Cool. So let's JF and go to dot files, and let's gam. See, that's way more visible, like what I'm doing here. I used to just, I guess, do gam and interpret it as, oh, I'm like doing the thing. I always ignored the actual text that ends up from the abbreviation. Here it's much more clean and visible, especially for you guys. Seeing me do random abbreviations, this is probably going to be more easily visible. So yeah, I think that's great. So fish abbreviations, and I also have more space to type in the commit message, which I didn't realize would be the benefit. Fish abbreviations multi-line. Now let's search for git push. And something that I'm gonna do is kit n. I actually forget what it is. Kitty alt D kitten this. Fuck. Okay, let's redo it. Kitten scroll prompt to top. So we can like repeat it. Fuck yeah. And I'll show you what that entails. Okay. Cool, let's GF. So basically, boom. What? I did gamma p Oh, I didn't do it here. Okay. Actually, what am I even doing here? Yank till that and just put it in my kill ring, right? Or better yet, just put it there. Like, what am I doing? Lamau. Put it here. That is fine to not do the secret thing that you're going to see in just a second. So let's redo JF. And what I'm going to call this, fish get pushes auto scroll. Boom. Really? I thought that it is. Huh. Mm-hmm. Okay, kitten. Wait, so you can't? Really? You can scroll window. Mm-hmm. Let's kitten scroll window. It's like 1. How do I define like this window? Okay, so basically my idea is that anytime I git push, Kitty automatically scrolls everything up, so I don't have to do it myself, because I can still press Alt S to scroll back to look at the output as normal. Scroll the specified windows. If no window is specified, scroll the window this command is run inside. Okay, so either start, so scroll to the start or scroll to the end. Let's try end. Scroll window end. Start. Yeah, that is indeed the start. Okay, let's do it very stupidly. How many... Right. So basically what we have to do, turns out, and it's pretty annoying, is count the lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And the thing is, they're not going to be consistent, I'm pretty sure. I think if you push multiple commits, it just shows like this, or like basically I think it's not consistent. And since I can't use scroll prompt to top, turns out this is like a silly idea then. That's unfortunate. Kinda wish that I could. Not gonna lie. Okay, but something I'm gonna do is take all the things. First of all, let's clear our kill ring and take the things that are multi-line and put them in their own category so that they're not like annoying. Yes, so let's take this and this and this and this. Okay. Boom. Okay, so there's a section of get abbreviations, and I think after it should be the section of get abbreviations that are multi-line. And same thing for other stuff that has multiple lines like this. My cargo built and then copy. Yeah, pretty much this. Cool, I don't use workflow anymore. Well, might as well still keep it in case I am able to. Cool. What about this? We put it like this and this. D4 down. So, first of all, a section with random ass relative abbreviations, then a section of them as well, but multi-line, and this is just kind of special. Okay, let's JF, and that's so much nicer looking. Wow, I super underestimated like multi-line, and I never even tried to do anything multi-line related because the tools you get by default for working with them are kind of non-existent. You don't have a way to cleanly delete everything in your command line. If you do DD, that does one line, and like, how the fuck do you delete everything? I guess with visual mode GGO capital G, but that's too much. But I recently made it so I can press die and it kills everything, just like it does in VS Code, because of a plugin that I have. So like, fuck yeah. But for fish, you don't actually need a plugin to get that functionality. Let me show you how I implement it. Here it is. It's just die is command line with nothing, and if you specify an empty string to command line, it will replace what's in your command line with nothing, and that's pretty much how it works. Right, so let's gamp. Fuck, this is actually so much better looking. So yeah, now that I can easily change or delete the entire command line, having multi-line things is more viable. So I've recently been using them a bit more often. Fish, remove kitty auto scroll, format multi-line arbors. That's like pretty sweet. Nice. I love that. A really complex way of doing it, but I wanted to. I recently read the docs on git checkout finally, and turns out when you use git checkout, you revert something not to head but to index. And index is basically everything, including like everything that was on head, meaning the latest commit, and everything that you staged. So let me show this as an example. I staged this deletion, and first of all, let me unstage it so you can see what I deleted. Let's delete it again and stage that deletion. Now we will copy the path to it, go to notice, and git checkout. Automatically to head this file. Let's actually do it this way, like sleep 2, so you can visibly see what happens there. See, it only undid the modifications that were unstaged, but the deletion, since I staged it, like it still stayed deleted. That is something that I did not know, and now git checkout is actually way more useful than I thought. So aside from just resetting to index of head, I can also select a specific commit. So git checkout, and then like for example head 2, right? To put this file to that place. And even better yet, with the -p flag, you can actually select which things to keep, which hunks of changes you want to actually have. So like, wow, honestly, wow. Okay, I sure hope I haven't had something like personal opened on this workspace. Okay, it's fine. It's my Mastodon, which you should follow. There's something on GitHub that kind of annoys me. This scroll bar, I don't want it. I hate it. So I figured out how to remove it. In some of these things, we change something and it works. It's easier to show than to talk. I think it was this, or I'm guessing no. Let's make it a bit bigger, not to that extent. And let's open it. Here we go. So I think what I did is max width is 200%. Yeah, and here we go. Now it's nice looking. Let's inspect it again. Yeah, basically it now starts from the left. With max content, right, so basically it starts from somewhere here and goes on until it can't anymore here. Which is like, it already looks better in my opinion, but it's not like great because we're missing some of these. Wait, I guess we are not. Let's reload just to see how it actually looks by default. So it looks like this. What I want to achieve is to keep everything here. But remove the scroll bar basically. Okay. Let's get this. Even more up. Even more up. Okay, what if we set max width to like 80%? Interesting. So this is a container that has the scroll bar as well, and we're not giving it as much space as it needs. Okay. So it should be 100% indeed. Overflow X. We can also hide overflow, but then I can't scroll to the side. And basically, what I would want to see, I wish I could like somehow just put this window at the bottom instead of at the top. So basically, this is going to be another situation of me learning CSS. Let's make this auto again. I want to see from here. So what can overflow X even be? What is clip? Let's try clip. Clip is exactly what I want. But is that because I scrolled first or not? So let's do this again and set it to clip. Yes, this clip. Yes, actually. So just takes the position of the scrolling that it can show. What if we make this entire box that contains like everything a bit bigger? Huh. My idea is to make it go a bit more there, but like, is that enough? It isn't really to make a considerable difference. So it's not really what I should be doing here, I don't think. Okay, what else do we have? Hidden inherit initial overlay. Overlay doesn't seem to change much. Revert. Scroll, unset, and visible. Set it back to auto. I'm not even sure what I want out of this, gonna be honest. Because the scroll bar isn't actually an element, I think. Unless it is. Span contribution graph. Description only. Yeah, the scroll bar is not by itself an element. It's a thing that is just done by HTML. We can see here that the box that it's contained in is bigger than it can fit into. Basically what I want is that it's as if it gets scrolled here and then gets cut off. Overflow hidden. Yeah, hidden. It's kind of what I want. And shift scroll doesn't really do stuff if there is no scroll bar. So what will happen is that it will start at the initial thing. Holy shit. Most of them are JavaScript now? That's insane. I don't know how to do this, gonna be honest. So I can set overflow to clip. Let's start with the small things. Let's figure out what is overflow clip in CSS. Used to clip the content that exceeds the size of an element's box. It effectively hides any content that goes beyond the specified dimensions of the element. This property is often used in conjunction. Well, hold up. That gives me an idea. Once again, I wish I could... Can I, like, pop this window? Dock... Oh, so I can. Okay, can I... Show console drawer, search, run command, open file, more tools, shortcuts, help. Panel layout. Sure, let's keep it auto. Language enable to switch panels. Disable post state overlay. Search in anonymous and content scripts. Automatically reveal files in sidebar. Enable. Tab moves focus. Detect indentation. Auto completion. Really? No 3? That's an 8. That's annoying. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's put it... Oh, so we can make it a separate window. Okay, that's... Fuck yeah. That's great. Okay, so... Somewhere here... I set it... to something... Here. Yes, to clip. Let's set it to auto. Realize that it will start with this. Now clip. And max width. Basically, we change the max width until it's what I want. Let's move it back to this. So it starts. It starts. So this is September 18th. And so it will wrap around from a year ago to a year now. Which is why we clip. And we do it like this. And notice that we scrolled as much to the left as we could. Even though we did that, it still shows the latest thing. And this is how I want it to look. Okay. This is just a random div. Let's copy selector. Go to Vivaldi or other stylus. Let's touch GitHub.css and open it in code. Boom. Boom. Oh, Jesus. Jesus Christ. Is it really that fucking... terrible? No, no it isn't. Let's edit this as HTML. That is the entire class. So div, let's change this and replace every space with a comma, all of them. It's still super long. And the immediate div after it. So this one. And we set it to overflow x clip important clip. Is that not how it goes? I forget how I use important. Let's go to chat. Hey, yo. Okay, here we go. I see. So clip and then max width is 120%. Also important, since both of them are inline styles, which why would you do? Okay. So let's copy this link, go to styles, manage, and write new style. GitHub, yeah, just GitHub. URL starting with this. Having this code save. When we restart this page, we will in theory see this to be correct. I'm not sure if it actually restarted. Yeah, okay, so now it's exactly what I want it to look like. It doesn't have that ugly ass scroll bar anymore. Now, to be fair, if I try to resize, it actually works correctly, interestingly. Well, somewhat correctly. But what I'm trying to say is that this is a very me-specific solution, but now you know more or less how to do it overall. That's cool. However, there's something that aligns the content. When we zoom in, we can see that it's basically aligned from the center. What I want to do is make it so it's aligned from the right, and then I don't need the max width is different. And I can keep it as it is. So let's inspect, and it actually remembers. Wow. Okay, so this, no, this, yes. This thingy, probably, yeah, display flex, text align, instead of center, we do right, I think. Uh, line items, flex end, flex start. Also, why is everything fucking important? Who the fuck wrote this CSS? So the YouTube CSS was actually kind of good. Flex start. No. Flex end. Okay, why is everything important? Why do they keep making everything important? That's so silly. Oh, and. Okay, and sure, important. Let's try. No, it doesn't work still. Display flex. Now that is probably correct, but what else do we have? Display and it just doesn't? Wait, am I changing the wrong thing? Display flex. Ah, I probably am. Let's restart. Maybe, like, what do we have here? Yeah. This current solution is like bad that I currently am having. It's not a thing. Text align is center. So that's why when we zoom in, it does this. But changing it to end doesn't do much, while I would expect it to. Overflow hidden. Yes, overflow is hidden. So it aligns items to flex end, and in theory it should display starting from like here. Flex direction column. Okay, what do we have? Column reverse. Now they're probably reversed. I can't tell, but they probably are. And then it inherits stuff. I'm guessing why this is happening is because there's some sort of minimum width and height on each of the blocks and the padding between them, which is just too annoying to try to change. So nothing really in here would help me out. Yeah, flex end is not a thing. Maybe here. Position relative. Well, that is not what I should be changing because it's this element's job, not this element's job. Okay, well, for now, this is exactly how I want it, although it's like not perfect with different scaling options. Let's go and oh, it's saved. Great. Boom. I love that. Stylus. Remove green squares. Scroll bar. Cool. So that we did. I thought I couldn't achieve it, but it worked, which is great. Right, so the reason why I don't just have this permanently open and toggle it when I need it is because I hate how the logo looks. I think it looks ugly. The program is great, but the logo is like, ugh. Wait, no. Let's go to programs. Let's just fucking go to settings. Figure it out then. And find all the applications basically that I have. Here they are. Application. No, not file associations. And not locations. No, not that. Let's try to search for startup. Sure, let's add application, grommet, this. I think I scrolled somewhere and changed something. Oh, hold up. So we can just change it like this? This looks good. So now, I see. It specifically changes this one's icon. I see. Quite like this icon, but we'll look through more. Where do all the applications like live? Application like selector, basically. Yes, menu editor is what I'm looking for. Yes, this. So grommet mpx. Let's try changing this. So okay, so I like this, but there could be something more. Wow, I just have all of these icons. That's so insane. Oh, and I can. Fuck yeah. So even those windows that are floating, I can make it so they're not. Interesting that it needs to be at least this width, but that's fine. Now by pressing Meta T, I can make a floating window actually tile, and I can make a tiling window float. Fuck, I just have all of these icons for me to use. The default icons on Windows are so shit looking that you're basically never gonna use them. Well, you might use them, but you won't like them necessarily, you know? But here I have a lot of icons that are, like, all of them are usable. They all look great in my opinion. Very, very cute. So, search. Let's try to brush, no, paint. It's not quite what I want. Okay, sure. Let's continue looking through to maybe we'll find something cute looking. Can I like zoom in? No. This is kind of cute. Okay, how do I like save? Here we go. So I launch Grommet MPX and it's still ugly. Grommet. So I can change how the menu looks basically. But that thing is different. Palette. Okay, let's go here and search for palette. Yes, this. Let's yank this for later. Okay, I got that. Let's search for grommet. So cache is not what we're looking for. Grommet MPX desktop. It's quite a lot of different desktop files. Let's ask ChatGPT. I want grommet MPX shows up in my taskbar, but I want to change what icon it uses. KDE Endeavor OS. I always keep that just added for close to no reason, just to make sure. So if I can change the icon, and I already can change how it shows up here, like it looks way more cute now, looking like this, so that's already amazing. But then being able to change it there as well, and I probably can. That local share applications. Okay. Let's go to this, except this. There are quite a lot of desktop thingies here. Not sure why it has so many of them. So grommet. It's a file. Grommet. Okay, so this is for quitting. This is for toggling. Undoing. Interesting, so it uses like desktop thingies to do that. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Let's just delete both of these. It's probably like the main one. Oh, this is my thing, by the way. Cool. Right, so what do I need to change? List the files. Maybe set to something like grommet mpx. Okay, let's just open all the files that we're seeing there that have grommet in them, or rather start with grommet. Let's code grommet search for icon. So here it does use the correct icon. And it's cool that I can just specify a path to it. Fuck, that... You don't even need to make an ICO file to make it work. No, it's just an SVG that gets rendered. Holy shit, that's so good. Wow. So it's saying I might need to restart, which I can believe. But let's do this like very stupid action. Comment. Something like this. Probably shouldn't be just free for all changing files like that. Let's ask it another question. I changed the icon successfully. That reflects in KRunner, but not in the taskbar. There are also a few other grommet mpx desktop files that are used to interact with the program. Should I be putting the icons there too? I imagine not, but I want to like make it think, to make me think. Well, okay, let's try doing it the stupid way first. And I'll basically do this. And if that doesn't do much to begin with, like without restarting, I imagine it won't if I like... okay. Okay, yeah, maybe I just need to restart and that's kind of like it. But, like, obviously I'm streaming, I'm not going to restart now. Let's go here and fd-u grommet. Uh-huh. User share icons, high color, scalable apps, and your gets. Let's go here. Would you look at that? Yeah, I think this is it. Let's ls and yes, that. So these are the only two ones. Let's move anything that has ROMIT in them. It's going to be more annoying to do it this way than this way. Dot back to make backups. Sudo. And I'm not going to make the same mistake again. Showing you my sudo. Why am I launching it so fast even though I'm going to make the same exact operation right now? V dot back. We also sudo. Oh, right, it remembers. I forgot about that. Okay, so let's ls smartly again. And it has the backup files. Great. Now, we specifically got this, and it needs an SVG. So we can copy this to here with the path of this. Oh, my bad. This. Sudo. And a similar thing, but after mpx, this is a lot of text to parse with my brain. Dot active. So now, the current ones are those that I set to be there. I was gonna say voila. I really was gonna say voila. I can do something along the lines of k start, like, yes, this. This to restart KDE. And it works. And it works. Okay, so what I want to do is check out whether I even need to change anything here, because I restarted and it's possible that I could just use the no, at the end of the day I changed the desktop file that does things here, and sure, it maybe works for the default kind of situation, but if it's active it still will change to this one, so I do need to like do something about it. In other words, I made it what I want to be, so now I can just have it permanently on. Let's go to here. Save, I'm guessing, and go to auto start. Add application, run it, npx. Now the icon actually looks good, and I'm okay with having it like here. And now like it's way faster to start and stop drawing. I don't need to wait for a whole program to be loaded just for the things to get executed. That's great. Okay, let me write this in to my notebook. I'm so actively using it that I went through a lot of pages surprisingly quickly because of all the changes in my setup that I do. I write all of them in and then I'm like, fuck. So grommet always runs. You know what that means? We don't need the hotkey to toggle it existing or not. Let's go to shortcuts, and this one we no longer need. We do need one for clear and another one for toggle. Boom, boom. So commands. So I don't need this anymore. Let's set it again. This is an issue with KDE settings, specifically with shortcuts. When you try to override some shortcut, it will sometimes not work immediately and I have to restart settings and set the hotkey again. Pretty annoying, not gonna lie. So now I can just on demand, like a bit faster, noticeably faster, enable drawing and not need to wait for a program to get loaded in. I wish I could do the same with this fucking program to toggle it having keys or not, because only being able to change that using the mouse basically is pretty annoying. My most recent video, I think, is about grommet. And there I explain how to make this hotkey that either starts it or exits it and so on and so forth, without ever mentioning why I don't just have it open permanently. And yeah, I forgot to say that the icon looks incredibly ugly, but now it's not an issue. Now you also know how to change icons on KDE at the very least. Holy shit, why is this so huge suddenly? What the fuck? Damn. Fuck, hold up. Yeah, cool, super cool. I just bloom and start drawing, and it's that simple because it's just going to be permanently running for me now. And on Windows, with a floating window manager, I was very used to immediately closing anything that I stopped using. But Linux and using a tiling window manager has taught me that that's actually not that needed. You can keep things just existing, because the RAM issues that I used to have, I no longer have. On Windows, I used to constantly check how much RAM I'm using because my computer was like going crazy. But on Linux, that's not an issue anymore. Even when streaming, I mean, to be fair, I stream at 30 FPS, which is kind of whack, but regardless. And when I'm not streaming, then even more so. Like, fuck, it's so great. Literally more performance. So I can handle having 16 fucking desktops, having all of my windows that I want to have open permanently. There's usually also Telegram here, and sometimes in another VS Code project here. And I may have Blender open because I'm editing a video, and so on and so forth. And it's okay. And it's fine. Like, oh my god. So having this neat little program opened permanently, yeah, I'm super okay with that. Nice. Super nice. So let's actually reflect the hotkeys as well that I just changed. Meta F toggles Meta Alt F clears. That's kind of all you need, really. Sure, there's also undo and redo, which are reasonably like useful, understandably, but I'll only add them once I recognize that yes, indeed, I do need them. So far, I haven't needed them. It's not like I'm gonna draw anything complex on my screen, you know? That's super great. And this is super great as well. Grommet is permanently open. And by the way, what I usually would do is like track that I did this somehow by like making a file in my dot files and symlinking it to the correct place. But here I don't think it's the way to go, because first of all, I don't have a guarantee that that icon specifically will stay at that specific place. And it requires sudo privileges, and so a more, I guess, dangerous situation than just some dot files, which are more clear and cut, in my opinion. So just doing it again in the future is going to be fine. Plus, I made a stream on it, so I'll know where to look, probably. But the way to do it is pretty simple. You just search for when to change something, and here you go. So yeah, that's great. I didn't think I was going to be able to do this, going to be honest. Hello. Let's how do I like Google Pictures? I forget. So web search keywords. GI, so Google Images. So let's GI VS Code logo SVG. And let's actually see in my logos, really. Let's go to logos. I guess I've never been to logos. RG. Let's search for VS Code. So I have a PNG of the logo. I want to get an SVG of the logo and also change the logo that's used for VS Code. And that's going to be like way easier. Huh? That's cursed. That's so cursed. Oh, it is an SVG. I thought I was lying. Let's image, save, VS Code. That's not a PNG. What? SVG. Let's go to pictures, tree, logos, VS Code, SVG. It doesn't see it yet. XDG open VS Code. Huh, in GIMP. So it does seem to be an SVG, so everything is fine there. I was like, are you sure you're an SVG? I don't believe you. But seems like it is. Let's go to desktop. Or menu editor. Yes, menu editor. I remembered. Let's move this to 12 and go there ourselves. A VS Visual Studio Code, and we change it to, all of them are just SVG, so I can just use my own SVG, which is always great. So let's go to tree, logos, this. Huh. It doesn't display. Is that an actual SVG or not? It doesn't seem to be displaying properly. Oh, it's green for insiders. Well, I dislike this logo anyway, so I want to change it. Well, all of these are just SVGs, so what that leads me to believe is that what I downloaded is not an actual SVG. So it says .svg, But indeed, once I try to save, it's like, oh, it's a PNG. So it is lying after all. Let's do file type SVG. Uh-huh. That's a JPEG. That's even worse. That's not an SVG. What? Bro booted me. Just said, go away. What the fuck? Uh-huh. What is this? JPEG? Wow. PNG. Huh. Am I bad at Googling? Like, I don't think you can use PNGs, and for good reason. Now it just goes off the deep end. Like, SVG. I think I clicked on this 3 times now, and it's continuously wrong. That is wrong. That's just incorrect. Why is it black? Like that is not an SVG. Come on now. Why is it white? I have the same exact problem with it. Really? What if I like duck go, but not logo, but the thinger? There's a chance it just gives me what I want better. Who knows? VS Code logo SVG. I actually like their website. Looks better. It seems to be faster too. Well, what's the file type? What's the file type? PNG, okay. I doubt that I can just save it as SVG. Most likely not. Also PNG. Well, that's PNG, very obviously. And it's not like you can make a PNG into an SVG, I think. Unless you can. Let's open pictures, free, logos, this apparent SVG. Can I like export it as SVG? Okay, let's close this for now. Let's move VS Code SVG to, actually I guess we don't even need it. Yeah, let's just remove it. SVG, go back to GIMP, open vscode.png, boom, and export it as SVG. Yeah, thought so. Would be silly if you just could do that. Alright then. Can you just fucking say the extension instead of, come on now. All colors, all types. What the fuck is a line drawing? PNG still, that's ridiculous. What? And browser I think broke. Just straight up broke. What workspace are we on? Okay. Is the stream like okay? Should probably reopen chat because now I don't believe that it's up to date. Yeah, everything's okay. How is this an SVG? It is not. Fuck. Okay, so maybe a file type SVG. How do I only show files that are SVGs? So there are none of them. Let's ask ChatGPT. Is there... I want to find an SVG variant of the VS Code logo. Since it can search the internet, it may work. True. Search on GitHub for VS Code. It likely will be Visual Studio. Oh! No! Oh, cool. Now we have to dig through a bunch of shit to find what it needs to be. So, source resources, I think, is how it's usually called. Window 32. So it's all ICO files. Go to file.svg. Aha! Well, let's continue searching. Code icon. What? Okay. Loading. Loading icon preview dark. If I had a title bar, it would show an icon here, and I think it would show not this one, but I'm probably incorrect on that. Alright, I give up. Whatever. Fuck. Like restore. No, not that. Accidentally closed the chat. Okay. Let's configure another thing called Unimatrix. First of all, let me show you how cool it is. It's like C-Matrix, but first of all, it does not use a background, so your opacity will still work. And it uses like Japanese characters, like in actual Matrix. So let's Unimatrix help. And look what it has. Asynchronous scroll I do already use. So let's go and basically copy this and make abbreviations for that. Unimatrix is this. It's going to be our default. So asynchronous scroll, let's keep this. Use only bold characters. How does that look? Better, in my opinion. Alright, let's add that. Color. Green is the default. We also have red, blue, white, yellow, cyan, magenta, and black. No, I think green makes the most sense. Flashers. Okay. Cool, I think I like it. I do not speak that language. What is that? I'm guessing not Spanish. I recognized S, but probably not Spanish. Super not Spanish. I only speak English and Russian. But I'm imagining what you're asking is like something about AutoHotkey V1. I haven't been using AutoHotkey V1 for more than a year, and now I don't even use AutoHotkey V2. I don't use AutoHotkey at all because I use Linux. Background color, yeah, great that it doesn't change that. Ignore keyboard, interesting. Oh, it's for, so okay, right now if I like, wait, what? I can, that's insane. Huh. Turns out I can like use my clipboard to change it. Okay, that's why. I thought that ignore keyboard is for you to be able to type fastly, as if like you're making a joke that, look at me, I'm such a hacker, you know? Select character sets using a string over letter codes. I'm fine with the default one. Do not use bold characters. Disable on-screen status. What is that? No clue. integer up to 100. Exit the process after time seconds. Interesting. Cool that you can do that. Custom characters. Okay. Single wave mode. Does a single burst of green rain exits. You can put... Huh. That's cute. That's very cute. So asynchronous, all bold. Oh, I see. So it basically tells all of them, but via long arguments. That's some specifics. Huh, keyboard control. Space exits as well. Oh, that's actually a bit better than Q. I like that. Decrease and increase speed. Asynchronous, bold. Hold up, what? Why does space now... Oh! Because I made it so. Right, Unimatrix is now an abbreviation as well. I wanted help. Use only bold characters. Okay. Flashing characters, on-screen status, colors, background color. Okay, boom. Unimatrix configured. Cool. Let me write that in to basically remember that I have Unimatrix a bit more often. Unimatrix. Boom, boom, boom. I couldn't change the VS Code logo because I don't have the SVG. Boom. Okay, time to like finally stop configuring bullshit every stream and actually work on a project. But I'm going to end stream for today. But to give you like a teaser for what I want to do, let's go to project ideas. I have this thing that you see, and this is called Octusi Git status. It lets you see the state of your Git tree, Git repository rather. Usually I would expect in your shell prompt. And I haven't made it like a public thing that, here you go, use it. Let me show why that is the case. Let's go to built-in, or rather prompt. The way you use Octusi Git status is very like annoying for the average person. First of all, naturally you somehow check that you have Octusi Git status so that if you don't have it, it doesn't error out. But after that, you call Octusi Git status with a flag of status. Here you provide the like let me collect my thoughts. Here you provide git status s basically. You need to provide this string correctly, by the way. Great. Then you do the same thing for unpushed, and unpushed is basically how many commits have you yet not pushed to the remote. And the way you do that, let me go to scripts. The way you do that is by using GSP. So I made an abstraction for it, which starts to reveal how annoying it actually is to use like Actusi git status currently. And GSP gets the remote and the branch, and then git log one line from the remote to the branch. Basically, it's a lot of stuff that you have to do on your end, trying to use it in your shell prompt, rather than on the side of the program, where the program should be doing all of those fucking thingies, and you should just be able to call it and that's it. But right now it's very, very annoying to use. So what I want to do, probably in the next stream, is make Actusi git status better by making a project called Actusi where I move most of the code, but change it so all the git situations happen within the program, and all you have to do is just call it in your shell prompt, so it does everything. You know? That's going to be my idea of how it's going to work. It will take some effort because I'll need to think about a lot of situations that may break. And the thing about Actusi, the project that we're going to make, is that by default it will need to be silent. Because imagine something goes wrong with Actusi, and then every time you press enter, it prints an error message. It would be very annoying, wouldn't it be? And I've actually experienced it because I had all the git logic on the side of fish, which is like blech. So then, to make sure the program is working correctly or check out the error message, you'll do something like -v for verbose. It's how you, as a user, will be able to debug the program, basically. While otherwise, it's usually going to be quiet. That's the idea. And it will do everything that you've been seeing on my streams and in my videos. Same exact functionality in terms of showing the changes. I may give an ability to select the colors. That would make sense to do. But it's not like the first thought that I have. First, I want to make it work, so that you can just install it with cargo and just use it. And then I'll add color thingies. Alright, yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'm going to be ending the stream.